freaking first cut. Golly. Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round one recap for this week's Masters. Joining me to break it all down, Patrick McDonald is here. Patrick, good evening. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your commitment to this pod. We were 15 minutes late. That was my fault.
I appreciate that, Rick. I appreciate the kind words. It was an early day for me, a long day. Had to get up and update those tee times for the website. Who would know when these guys are playing if it wasn't for me? So, one, you're welcome to everyone out there. And guys, it was a great day today. I thought it was a great day.
Don't say it. You'll have to pay. You'll have to pay a royalty.
It was a great day. It was a great day.
To Greg DuCharme. Hello, Greg.
But what's going on, boys? It was a great day, Patrick. And you can't say that. You just have to pay me. So go ahead. Use it up. I get it. But phenomenal day of golf. So happy. I mean, we got a lot more in than I expected. I was worried today was going to be pretty close to a wash. And we were going to be spending tonight talking about, 9 holes. But we got a lot of golf in. There's a lot of rounds in, and this tournament's starting to take shape.
It really is. So the 2.5 hour rain delay this morning was actually, as Greg mentioned, a little bit better than we anticipated. The original kind of thought process going around yesterday was that we were going to be able to start on Thursday sometime between 12 and 2. We actually got out on the golf course at 12:30. So while round one is not complete, we are definitely farther along than we would have expected. So that's good. Patrick, I was trying to run the quick math as we were driving back from the golf course. I think that it is likely we are back on track tomorrow night. Does that seem feasible to you?
Yeah, I mean, they're running round 2 tee times simultaneously when these guys are on the golf course. And I think the final group's probably on 11 green because Jordan Spieth, his first shot coming out, I think he was the penultimate group. Maybe it was the last one. I don't know. But his first shot in the morning, in the restart, number 12, the tee ball. So,
Wow.
He's going to get a good night's sleep. And the rain missed you guys because it hit me here in Charleston. It was dumping all day. A little flood damage with my car. I'm going to not to make it about me. But yeah, I think you guys skirted it all. You guys are having all the fun. I'm so happy for everyone at Augusta National. And by tomorrow we should be all caught up.
Well, yes, the storm rolled in and it said, hey, do you want us to go to Charleston instead? And we said, yes, please go see Patrick. And that's exactly what Mother Nature did. And we got off to a quick start out of the gate, Greg, when this thing finally got underway. A former champion made a lot of noise early. Danny Willett, a 4 under 68. And this was a little bit out of left field for a lot of reasons. We have not seen Danny Willett play since September, BMW PGA Championship. He underwent shoulder surgery. He's back, depending on who you ask, 6 months early, a year early. I don't know what his body is made of, but he has fixed himself, and now he's 4 under par in round 1 of the Masters.
Yeah, it's working. So I don't know if they put metal in there to keep him on plane or something, but it's definitely working. He hit some great iron shots. You think before this tournament, if Danny Willett's in the mix, especially on a day like today, you're thinking, well, Danny Willett filled it up on the greens, which he did, but getting up and down from everywhere, scrambling like crazy. But it wasn't really the case. I mean, he hit some really high quality iron shots and made some really easy birdies. I mean, he had 5 feet at 3. 8 was he knocked it on there in 2. Took advantage of 15, knocked that one on in 2. And on the nice putts he made was 1 and 18, but those were like 17 footers. He gave himself good looks and poured them in. So this was a really high quality round, and it didn't seem as fluky as you might think if Danny Willett, coming off a shoulder surgery, is right up there near the top of the leaderboard.
Well, if you thought Danny Willett was shot out of a cannon, let me introduce you, Patrick, to Ryan Fox, who made birdie on 1, birdie on 2, birdie on 3, eagle on 8. We looked up at the leaderboard. They manually removed that blank spot. They put a red 5 under par on number 8 for Ryan Fox. And then I heard it through the gallery. Who is Fox? Who? Yeah, that was going through the patronage at Augusta National. They all quickly referred to their programs. Oh, Ryan Fox, he's from New Zealand. That was the extent of the knowledge that was shared around there. Fox entered this week missing 5 of his last 8 cuts. He did give a couple of strokes back coming in, including one on the par 5 13th, in which he found a little bit of a water ball situation, but Ryan Fox cards a 69 when the dust settles.
The real sickos would have been asking if it is Stephen Fox, the former U.S. amateur champion from way back in the day. I believe he went to Chattanooga.
I can assure you not a single person asked if it was Stephen Fox.
Only amateur status would know that.
They're out there. They're out there. Trust me. But yeah, Ryan Fox can he can catch lightning in a bottle with the best of them. Obviously, I mean, he has the BMW PGA Championship under his belt. The guy can win. But remember, he went 3-1 at the Players Championship. Is that correct? He went eagle hole in 1.
16 and 17.
On 16 and 17. And then first person to do that. And then I believe a little Masters history today.
It was.
3 guys going birdie, birdie, birdie to start as well. And so we'll get to a couple other guys, I'm sure, who did that. And so, yeah, really good front 9, which was actually playing more difficult, I think, which does not pass my eye test, to tell you the truth, but it was. Played a little under par. Back 9 played a stroke over par. And it was actually a pretty good bogey there on 13 after hitting it in the water. Made a really nice putt. So 3 under, right in the mix, hits it a mile, can putt the lights out of the ball. Really just depends on the iron play if it can hold up over the next 3 days.
Speaking of hitting it a mile, speaking of making birdies on 1, 2, and 3, let me introduce you guys to someone named Bryson DeChambeau. I'm not sure if you have heard of him. He tends to make waves on the YouTube, and he is also leading the Masters, because Bryson not only made birdies on 1, 2, and 3, but how about this finish, Greg? 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, all birdies. As you know, we're following along with the manual scorecards, and they just kept putting deeper and deeper numbers. The rumblings were going through the crowd. Oh, Bryson, he made another. Oh, he did it again at 6. Oh, he did it at 17. Bryson cards a 7 under 65. And here we go. The Masters has officially begun.
Yeah, this was quite a round for him. And it's the first time that we've seen Bryson really take advantage of his distance here. It's the first time we've seen him make the golf course look like, as he said, and has definitely backtracked on, that this is a par 67. I mean, you think about the tee shot that he hit at 1 was enormous, and he's spinning it back into that green, into that hole location, leaving himself an easy birdie. And it was really short birdie putts at 1, 2, and 3. And he did make a couple of really nice long putts. He led the field in strokes gained putting in round 1, even though it's not complete yet. He's leading at the end of the day. And his driver was an absolute weapon today. He hit some really high quality iron shots. And I also heard that he's designed his own set of irons that actually have a face like a wood face, as in there's some curve to them. So they have bulge and roll, which adds forgiveness. And you see Bryson today hitting 15 of 18 greens. That could be an issue for the rest of the field.
Well, I was quite bullish, Patrick, on Bryson DeChambeau coming into the week, but in no way did I think he was going to go out and shoot a 65 around Augusta National on Thursday. The tone was very different. Greg mentioned and reminded us of the par 67 comment he has made. Remember, he was saying, I'm going to take these angles that no one has ever taken. I'm going to play from different positions. I'm going to break Augusta National, essentially. Today's comments were closer to, you have to play from the right positions. You have to take what the golf course is going to give you. All the stuff that people have tried to tell Bryson over the last 7 or 8 years to not much success at this golf course. He seemed to be buying into it. And this was it was an excellent, impressive, very strong 65 out of the gates.
It was just a great reminder that any major championship with Bryson DeChambeau, any tournament with Bryson DeChambeau, like big time, like the Memorial back in the day, with him involved, is just awesome. He's such a showman. He walked up the 18th hole there, waving his cap off like it was Sunday. He's more or less telling everyone else in the field. I mean, he's not actually, but in my mind, he's like, it's over, fellas. I'm taking home that green jacket. And it was kind of clinical, to tell you the truth. It was very, very impressive. Hit the ball great, found a lot of fairways, found a lot of greens. Those new irons with the bulge and the curve, good for Bryson. But yeah, he sounds like a more, he just said he's older. You know, he's 30 now. Someone asked him if he idolizes any YouTube creators. He said, I respect them. I don't idolize anyone but God. I love God. So there's a potential for a little bit of a God off this weekend between Scottie and Bryson. Who does God love more? I guess we'll find out and see. But it's great to see Bryson DeChambeau. He's like one of my favorite golfers just to watch, because it could be dumb, it could be unbelievable like today, it could be both at the same time. And he is just one of those guys who is a pure entertainer. That's why he's so popular on the YouTube and on the Snapchat. He was saying patrons were coming up to him today saying that they love his Snapchat. And so it's great for golf, and it's great to see him back in the mix and play well.
I was hoping he was going to say his favorite creator was Rick Rungood. He did not say that. He said he mentioned Mr. Beast. He mentioned Dude Perfect, because remember the video they shot at Augusta National playing with the pool. All the different sports. Rick, let me do a quick control. Do a control F just to be sure. You know, nothing.
Oh, and the analytics guru Rick Rungood. I watch his weekly previews.
There you go.
Get a sense of the courses.
There's a new ad for Rick Rungood. Okay, great. Well, listen, it was a lot of fun. Bryson, he was coming up 18 just as the Scottie Scheffler, Rory McIlroy group was going out on 10. He definitely got the better end of the conditions, but nonetheless, an impressive 65. We're going to continue this conversation. There's a lot more to get to, obviously, because it's the Masters. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
I am a prisoner of this hotel.
Why do they let you live?
You must never leave. They can take away everything. They can't take away who you are.
And we are back. It wouldn't be a major championship without Will Zalatoris in the mix. And Greg, that's exactly what we have. A 2 under 70, a little bit of a logjam there. Big group of golfers at T9, and Zalatoris is one of them. A birdie on number 2, another on number 8. He did add an eagle on 13. This was deeper under par. He did give 2 back on 17 and 18. So the infamous could have been a couple shots lower, left a couple out there, but it's a major championship, and Zalatoris is right in the thick of it.
Yeah, I really like the way that he played the par 5s today, taking advantage of 2 and 8, and then obviously making that really nice eagle at 13. That shot was so good in there. But Will Zalatoris looks really good. His ball striking looks the way it always has in major championships. When you look at what he does around the greens, he's extremely creative. And I think of him as a guy traditionally who could put a lot of spin on the ball with his short game shots, but he played a number of shots today where he kind of rolled the face over and played releasing shots. One of them actually was at number 5 where it went over the green, and then he chips in for par. So that was a really nice highlight as well. And he said after the round that he hit 10 perfect shots on the last 2 holes and ends up with 2 bogeys. So I think the blustery conditions got Will a little bit.
The weather app that we were using, which is quite accurate, had those gusts in the afternoon going up to 39 miles an hour. We saw a lot of guys backing off their golf ball. Kyle Porter, as we were walking around, said, quote, "This is the windiest I've ever seen this place." And he's been here for much longer than I have. So that is from the mouth of KP himself. Zalatoris, Patrick, I did the math. 9 loops around Augusta National for the Masters. He has been inside the top 14 after every single one of those rounds. So this is what I would define as a staple at the top of the board.
So he came into the week, obviously super small sample size. I think his strokes gained total per round was like 3.8.
Yeah.
So technically his performance he was just a shade over 3 today. It's going to unfortunately bring that down. Bring him down.
It's like when you're batting 400 and you go 1 for 3 and it's like, well, you're batting, it's coming down.
Yeah. I mean, there's just something in the water, I guess. I mean, it's a great golf course for him in general, and difficult putting surfaces help out guys who, like, if the good putters are going to struggle, that means like every putter is going to struggle, and that helps out a guy like Will Zalatoris. And he has figured out these greens throughout the years, to his respect. And it's just everything comes together for him at this one venue. And so, yeah, the more difficult, the more baked out, the windier it gets. I love Will Zalatoris just because, like Greg said, he has that ball striking, but he is someone who has the creativity to potentially match the big name who's running number 2 right now.
We'll get to him.
One thing on his putting, I agree with you, Patrick. I think you've seen a lot of guys win the Masters that aren't necessarily great putters, but there's a specific element that is critical here, because you can look like a complete fool, but if you have great speed control, you can eliminate the 3 putts. And that's what Will Zalatoris has. So while he doesn't fill it up and make everything he looks at, he doesn't run the ball by the hole or come up woefully short. He has really good touch. The thing is, just on some of those short putts, we've seen some shaky strokes, which I think the broomstick helps with that. But he's not a Jordan Spieth type putter, a Ben Crenshaw type putter, but he has very good touch. And I think that's one of the reasons why he has so much success here.
Talking about the weather, I will put on my meteorologist cap and I will tell you guys the rain is gone seemingly for the rest of the week. Goodbye rain, hello sunshine, and the wind will be sticking around. So it'll be a little bit cooler tomorrow, high around 70, 71. That's good for me. It got a little too warm for me. The wind gusts. So we're looking at about 18 sustained gusts in the morning, 29, 31. Afternoon, yeah, baby, 37. How about at 5 o'clock, 44? They'll probably play till sunset again, 43 gusts. We saw a lot of guys backing off shots, like I said earlier. So could be a little fun tomorrow. Could be a little exciting.
And you look at the split so far, 0.6 over par for the morning, 1.35 in the afternoon. So if it levels out, that's great for the guys on the golf course, like, eventual winner Jordan Spieth.
Okay. I will let that go for now. I will circle back on that in just a little bit, and I'll get to another guy sitting at 2 under par. Joaquin Niemann, Greg, was one of the more difficult golfers to try to figure out heading into the week. Obviously, the 15 competitive rounds on Live Golf and his strokes gain stats have been great. He's been playing a little bit on the Asian Tour. This was a fairly mediocre round for the majority of the day. 1 birdie on 3, a double on 5, a birdie on 8. So he's even through 11. He's 1 over through 12. Then he rallies a little bit with birdies on 13, 15, and 17 to get this thing under par 2, in fact. And that is plenty good on a day when, as Patrick told us, the scoring average was what, stroke and a third over par, something like that?
Just about stroke.
Sure.
It was a good day. He and Bryson were the only two players to hit, who have finished round one. They were the only players to hit 15 greens of regulation. So you watch Joaquin's round, and it's boring, and that's exactly what you want. The one mistake, 5, he just made a mess of 5. He missed it short right, which, I mean, I'm sure half the field did. I would love to see the plot chart at number 5 from round 1, because everybody was in that front right portion. And he was one of the few guys I saw that didn't get it all the way up the ridge, and then 3-putted from there. So, a bogey was acceptable there. The double was really tough. But other than that, this was just a really clean round of golf. He didn't make any mistakes. He didn't really hit it out of position. He took advantage of the par 5s, with the exception of number 2, and hit a great shot into 17 to add a nice little bonus there. So it was really, really solid out of Joaquin.
This was the sleeper of the live guys for me, Patrick. There was a lot of conversation about Brooks Koepka. There was a lot of conversation around John Rahm. Niemann, I thought, was kind of the X factor. Didn't really know what to expect entirely. So far, so good for the Chilean.
Yeah, I mean, second in ball striking, third off the tee, third on approach. Has a little ways to go in terms of putting in around the green, but obviously on number 5, he gives gives a stroke and a half between around the green and putting in that instance. And what I love about him, this run he's been on, 1, he's added a ton of distance, and 2, he's added more shots to his bag. He used to be, strictly a fader of the golf ball, but now he has this hook that he throws in every once in a while, and he gets it out there deep, really deep.
He hit it over the green at 3.
Really? I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He was the only guy I saw that, I don't know if it was the only guy to do it, but there were some guys in the left greenside bunker. Rory was green high right. He chipped from long of the green.
Damn. I mean, his stat profile looks great for someone who could potentially make a run. Everything is green except putting. He's 69th, and around the green he's 51st. And I mean, most of that bad stuff was all on 5.
Oh boy. Okay. Joaquin Niemann might be primed for a run. The mega super group: Xander Schauffele, Rory McIlroy, and Scottie Scheffler. Let's start with Rory McIlroy. And it was a slow start for Rory. Par on 1, bogey on 2. That is not the way you want to play the first 2 holes. He does get it back at 3, but gives it right back at 4. So he's bouncing this thing around. And Greg, we'll start here with you. He did make a little bit of a rally here. Birdies on 8, 12, 14. He makes a bogey on 17, but it's a 1 under par. It is one of the better opening rounds at the Masters that he has had in the last few attempts. We've talked all week long about him staying within arm's reach of the leaderboard on Thursday, or of the top of the leaderboard. Did he do that? Is he within arm's reach?
Yes. Especially considering he played the par 5s even par today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's very unlike Rory McIlroy, and it's unacceptable, right? I mean, it's just not great. So that'll be really frustrating. But to shoot under par with a slow start, like you mentioned, and to play those par 5s and even par, there's a lot left in the tank for Rory. Thought he was a little sloppy today. Avoided the big mistake, which was big. But there's tons of things he can clean up. You look at the bogey at number 2. I mean, he's got 100. He didn't hit a great tee shot, but he's got 100 yards for his third. There's no reason to be making bogey from there. He hits it long at the green. So it's mistakes like that just need to get cleaned up. And I think there's room for that.
I don't know what it looked like, 4 feet or so on 16 for birdie that he missed after hitting a good shot in there. I think it was maybe 4.5 feet, something like that. So Patrick, it was a lot like the rest of the rounds that we've seen from Rory in 2024. There was no big number this time, as Greg mentioned, but It seems like there were a lot of missed opportunities, but the floor being as high as it is keeps him under par and in this championship.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling pretty positive tonight because, like Greg said, I mean, the wedge play wasn't very good. 2 obviously, but the chip on 17 was tough. Didn't really put a good roll on it. The putt on number 4 wasn't great either, and then the putt on 16 was horrible also. And you bring in the par 5 play, and you're like, okay, this could have easily been something around 3-4 under, perhaps, and you're right there. And so if he puts that round together, if he puts it all together tomorrow, he's right there 5 under with the conditions being very tough, with the wind being tough. You don't imagine he's great at projecting what it's going to take to win a golf tournament. Rory McIlroy is, and I don't think he gets the credit for that. He said it earlier in Dubai where he was like 10 back at the halfway point, and he's like, and he said on Friday, if I get to 10 under, I'm going to win this golf tournament. The lead was 10 under. He won the golf tournament at 11 under. And so I think he has, something like that in his mind where if he's able to get to like 5-ish tomorrow, 4 or 5, put together something in the high 60s in tough conditions. I mean, the ball striking's there. The driver looks good. It's just really some short game cleanup. He's probably thinking the lead's going to get out to what? Maybe 8-ish, like 8, 9. And he's right there heading into the weekend. So I think that's what he's probably thinking to himself, but he's got to clean it up a little bit.
Well, he also on that, Patrick, he knows he's going to know what the lead is, right? Because he's playing alongside Scottie Scheffler. And I'm not trying to sell Bryson short, but Bryson will be, Bryson goes after them. Okay. But you have a great idea when you're playing right alongside Scottie Scheffler, what that lead or what something around the lead is going to be.
That's a good point.
So I think that helps.
We're going to talk about that Scottie Scheffler guy, the number 1 player in the world who had a very, very, very squeaky clean scorecard around Augusta National on Thursday. We're going to look at some other notables, like maybe, I don't know, Tiger Woods. Ever heard of him? We'll set you up for tomorrow and the betting favorites. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
There are some things in life that you can't quite explain.
An extraordinary story.
Maybe it sounds flawless, looks effortless, or makes you feel like a part of history.
The first ever goal for BFC.
And when all of those phenomenons come together, it's perfect. Pitch perfect.
And we're back. The number 1 player in the world, the 2022 Masters champion. His name is Scottie Scheffler, and he got through Augusta National on Thursday without a single bogey on the card. It was a 66. Patrick, it was pretty darn splendid. Birdies on 2, 6, and then he rattles them off on the back 9, 12, 13, 15, 16. Another Scottie round in 2024, and he is 1 shot off of Bryson DeChambeau's lead.
Yeah, there's nothing else I feel like we can say about this guy. To go around bogey free, go around Augusta National without dropping a shot today is ludicrous. It is not lost on me. He got lucky on number 13. His second shot easily could have found Rae's Creek. He even thought it found the water when he was walking up to it, got lucky, but he took advantage of the break. And that is what winners do. You get a break, you know what you do, you take advantage of it. And he did just that. And then on 15, I don't know if you could hear it, but you could hear him say something on the live stream on the Masters, like oh no. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, what is he going to do? The ball's in the air. He like almost makes it. And then after his round, he tells SVP, he goes, I pulled it like just a hair. And for his first reaction to be, oh no, and for it to settle 15, 20 feet away from the pin for eagle, just shows you how dialed in he is. But we kind of got it all from him today. We saw the driver, we saw the iron play, we saw the hands around the green, and it's why he's the best player in the world.
Well, I sat in the interview afterwards, Greg, and he pointed out a couple of things. He pointed out the 3 birdies that he made on the par 5s, which is what you have to do around Augusta National. And he pointed out the 3 birdies that he made on the par 3s. He played every single par 4 at even par. He made a par on all of them. He only had 1 5 on the card, actually, for this Thursday. And he said himself, there's a little bit of stealing on the par 3s. And if Scottie Scheffler is stealing strokes, a guy who does not need a leg up on the field, I worry about the rest of this field.
You know, it's a rare thing where Scottie Scheffler plays a round of golf and you feel like he shot a lower score than he should have. It almost never happens. You know, almost every single round of golf he plays, you feel like, well, it probably should have been 64 and it was 69, you know, or 66. This one felt like it probably should have been 69 and it was 66. But it's a great sign. I mean, you love what you see with the putter. Like the putt at 6 was great. That's a little bit of a bonus. I mean, it's a mid-range putt. Some of those you would think go in. That one did for him. Patrick mentioned the prayer being answered at number 13. And there's also the whole bunker shot at 12.
Yeah.
Right. So Amen Corner, which, I mean, for the way that it's named, you would think there'd be a little more success there. Normally it's prayers not being answered or in Amen Corner. But for Scottie today, they were. And that's that's the kind of thing you need in these types of conditions. You need a little bit of help. You need a little bit of luck. And it's not a lucky shot at 12, but the fact that it goes in, it's hard to count on that. 13 is flat out lucky. I was absolutely stunned when I saw him chipping from there. It's like, wait, why would he drop there? And I was like, wait, that stayed that stayed up. It didn't land on the green, right? It landed there. It's meant to be.
Oh, it might just be meant to be. There's still a lot of golf to be played. Still 54 and honestly plus holes for some guys. I was going to ask a question, Patrick, in the presser. There actually was surprisingly not a lot of people there, and I was going to ask a question.
What was it going to be?
I don't know. I didn't know what to ask. That's why I didn't ask. Do you have any tips? Should we crowdsource one? Do we have any like good things in the chat? What could I ask him?
Hey Scottie, what are you going to do tonight?
Yeah,
that's a big one.
That's a big one.
I kind of always feel it out, and then like I look around, I'm like, oh, like give someone a look. Like that's a horrible question. What are you doing? And I'm like, it's like if I don't like him, I'm like, I'm gonna ask one just so it's better than that one. I don't know though. Like I wasn't in there. I didn't know what was going on. So
you could ask him when's the last time you hit a shot.
Yeah, I was nervous. I didn't do anything. I just sat on my hands and made sure no one looked at me.
Do they pass around a mic there, or does everyone have a mic?
Everyone has a mic, and it comes on. It like I don't know how they know. It's like
the UN.
It comes on for you, and it lights up. Oh, Patrick has the bubble. What'd you do?
I said the UN. I don't know, but it's like the UN.
So then it lights up red, so the player knows who's talking, and then you know your mic's hot, and then basically as soon as you're done asking the question, like it turns off.
I love how everyone always like, "Hey, Scottie, like, how you doing?" Everyone's Scottie's like, "Who the hell are you?"
Boy. Well, here is the situation that we have for those who are done. Bryson DeChambeau, 65. That is 7 under. Scottie Scheffler, 1 shot back. That is a 66. They are 2 clear of the next closest guy in the clubhouse, Danny Willett, at 4 under. And then the 3s are just Ryan Fox and Cam Davis. Now, there are guys still out on the golf course, and that's going to be the story early on Friday. We've got to finish round number 1, and we are going to flip this darn thing right around and get to round number 2. The biggest name that has to finish their round is unequivocally Tiger Woods, who has played 13 holes at the Masters, and to my shock, is 1 under par.
Good.
And Greg, it was pretty good. I'm impressed. He held the thing together. He hit a couple of nice pitch shots and chip shots that I thought might be a little bit rusty. He sprayed one on 13 late in his round, got out of there with a par. I mean, I am very bearish on Tiger this week. I actually didn't think he was going to make the cut. He played through 13 holes, very good golf.
He played great golf. And in fact, the one thing that I was so worried about as well, just like you, is that that competitive rust around the greens. And if he showed us a short game performance like he did at Riviera, or like he did last year in the Masters, or in a couple of rounds in the last few Masters, this would have been a disaster, a complete disaster. But he's able to get up and down from just about everywhere. I mean, the up and down at number 12 was ridiculous. That's absurd. The one at 11 was maybe even better, because it was less unique, right? It's in the fairway off an uneven lie. He's got to nip it just perfectly, and he does. Stops it on a dime. He got up and down from a couple of bunkers. Like number 7 was a kick-in par from a bunker after an errant tee shot. So yeah, those that area of his game was really sharp. The putter from close range was really sharp. The big question is, can he get enough out of his tee to green performance to keep this going? But I feel a lot better about him needing a better tee to green performance than I do about the short game rust. So this was the strategy coming together, if you will, for Tiger.
5 holes to go, Patrick. 5 holes and then a quick turnaround. Josh, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they are restarting tomorrow, 7:45, something in that ballpark. Does that sound right?
7:50?
Close enough. 7 at the ballpark. Jeez,
different time zone there.
Really tough crowd around here. Okay, so 7:50, they will, and not a moment earlier, they will get started. And Patrick, Tiger Woods is going to play those 5, and he's going to go back out and play another 18. It's like, it's the right amount where I'd be worried if it was 30 or 35 that he had to play. 23 is not that much more than 18. Maybe it's good that he can just keep the thing rolling. He doesn't have to get cooled down, get warmed up again. It's just, maybe he just keeps this vibing for a while.
Yeah, 24 holes so far this year coming into the week, and he's going to have to play 23 all of tomorrow. And I think short game was disgusting. Just all the par saves coming in. The entire second 9 was just filthy. But for him,
right. I forgot about 10.
10, yeah, that was his worst iron swing of the day. Just completely flared, short-sided himself. I'm like, there's no way he's making par here. Boom, 6-footer in the heart. That was dumb. But he needs to just take advantage of the holes you're supposed to. On number 2, he's in jail left, has to swing left-handed, doesn't make birdie there. 13, he's up in the pine straws as well, doesn't make birdie there around Amen Corner. So for me, I would love for him to birdie 15. I know there's some tough holes coming in with 17 and 18. It's okay if he drops one, but for him to get one on 15 and put a good strike on an iron on 16, which is a pin players have been getting access to. It's one of the easier holes on the back 9. So those 2 holes in particular, I think if he plays well, then Rick, you're right. Why not? Why can't he roll that momentum over? But at the same time, we've seen a lot of good round 1 performances from Tiger Woods in this stage of his career, and a lot of like ugly round 2 performances. So I am still a little bearish just because we've kind of gone down this road for the past couple years and it hasn't been pretty all the time.
And round 1 isn't finished.
Yeah.
I just want, I want to know if he's going to make the cut when he's done, right? I either want him to be at 1 under and firmly inside the cut line after he finishes round 2 or way out of it. I do not want the entire afternoon to be a Tiger sweat scoring, sweating every score that comes in to see if Tiger is going to make the cut and break the record.
I'd agree. Hopefully JT doesn't have to bogey the last 3 holes again, so he makes the cut.
We shall see. Other notables still out on the golf course. So these are not official rounds just yet, but Max Homa, 4 under through 13. And Greg, there's only one blemish on this card, a bogey that he made on number 12. He's got 5 circles, and we know the struggles that Max has had at major championships in his career. He is trying to put together one of his best career finishes, and he's got a little bit of work to do in round 1. And then, like we said, right back out for round number 2.
So obviously, like you said, not done with round 1, but he is second behind only Bryson in strokes gained putting. And we haven't seen a Max Homa putting performance like this in a major championship. It looks easy for him. It looks calm. He looks fired up. And he's finally got some momentum going the right way. We've spent a lot of time talking about how he's been leaning on his improved short game and improved putting. And he's doing that today. But at the same time, he's playing enough offense. And he's swinging beautifully. It looks like he's made a little adjustment. If you watch him pre-swing, he's adding a little bit more waist bend. Like he's actually, you can see him bend over like a little bit more. And I think that's helping him out with his swing plan and his arm flow, because it tends to get a little bit low. So I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that specifically, but that's what it looks like to me. And it's working. And he's got some good momentum going. And I think that's it's something we haven't really seen a whole lot of out of Max Homa. So this is really exciting.
Even better than Max at 4 under is Nikolai Højgaard. Young Nikolai, Patrick, 5 under par. He has played 15 holes. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster. He's got, 7 birdies, 2 bogeys. He went through a stretch. Here's the last 5 holes that he played on Thursday. Birdie, 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 bogey, birdie. So yeah, maybe he does need to take a little break, get some sleep, and see what happens on Friday morning. But here we've got a Ryder Cupper, a guy who won a big event in Dubai at the end of last year, and he's got a chance to post a very, very good first round.
A debutante as well. And that one bogey, Rick, they just flashed to him in the coverage. He's just directly behind a tree. So he had to pitch out sideways. So pretty good, pretty decent bogey, all things considered. But this guy has so much game. We saw it a little bit here in the United States at Torrey Pines, which, there's some crossover there. Big golf course. You got to hit the driver well. Certainly you have to do the same here. Although he wasn't, great outside 14, of course. But, yeah, great driver of the golf ball, typically a good putter and a really good wedge player, typically. So we saw him at the Ryder Cup have his moments. Like there were moments when he was paired with Jon Rahm, when he was carrying Jon Rahm, when they were just routing the U.S. side. And so he's got all the game in the world. He's got all the confidence from that Ryder Cup, winning the DP World Tour Championship as well. And so, yeah, I mean, is it surprising? Probably. First time at the Masters. What is he, 21 now? Probably wouldn't put too much stock in him, but at the same time, it's like we know this guy's a really good golfer. So it'll be interesting to see how he finishes off that first round, especially with the difficult stretch there.
4 notables. Open this up a little bit here. We can go in any direction that you guys want. We've got Justin Thomas. He finished even par 72. That's currently a tie for 32nd. Brooks Koepka is even par through 11 holes. Jon Rahm is 1 over. He is done. That was a 73. And then Jordan Spieth has a lot of golf to play and a lot of good golf to get back into this that he's going to need to play. He is 2 over through 11. Greg, any of those tickle your fancy?
Well, I think it's only fair if we hear. I guess we got to talk about the winner, right, Patrick? We can't leave Jordan Spieth off of this.
Good point.
Off of this list. So, I mean, how is he going to get back in and win this thing?
Real quick, he started. He made double on the very first hole. He made a 5 on number 5, so he was 3 over through his first 5 holes, Patrick. He clawed 1 back. A lot of work to do.
Yeah, it was brutal. I'm pretty sure they panned from his stubbed chip on 1 to Scottie Scheffler making his bunker shot on 12. I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to be a really long day, isn't it? And then he doesn't birdie 2, and it's like, things are moving fast for us already. But there are a couple really good iron swings in there. The pin on 9, the back, you knew if a guy was hitting his irons well if he accessed that pin, because that's a really tough pin to get to. And we saw guys like Tommy Fleetwood get into it. We saw guys like Max Homa. Homa hit another great one on 5 as well, made birdie there. And so I saw Spieth get into it. I was like, this is going to be great. He's going to go on this. He's going to make this putt, go on this second 9 charge. Missed the putt, but the point being, he can make anything from a 2 to a 5 on number 12 tomorrow. If it is a 2, he's in this ball game. If it is a 5, I will unstar him on my Masters app. I'll leave it that. Wow. I'll leave it there.
You can unstar him right now. Greg, do you want to get involved in this, or you want to get involved in somebody else?
Yeah, I want to get in. I mean, he's hit every single fairway.
He's driving it great.
There's some there, but what's going on with his short game?
I don't know. He might be.
He might be what? Finish that sentence.
I was gonna say a Y word. A little yippy.
He's getting the yips?
No, I don't think so. It just he looks like a little. He looks like he's thinking a lot over it, and Jordan Spieth does not do that.
No, never in his career. I mean, things have gone up and down in his career, different areas of his game. Short game has been the one constant, and it's been terrible. It was terrible in Florida, and it's been terrible today. I mean, he's losing. He's 2 over through 11. He's gaining a shot 0.98 off the tee, and he's 2 over. You tell me Jordan Spieth is through 11 holes, gaining a shot off the tee at Augusta National. He's 5 under through 11.
I wish, man.
It's not pretty.
I wish.
It's not pretty. The other thing that was not pretty were a couple of the outfits for today. Patrick, I think you're our resident fashion expert. Josh, do we have any photos of these guys, or are we just get? Okay, I think we do. This is Sergio Garcia. Who,
what's wrong with
that? He is wearing. I mean, I guess it's festive. He's wearing the Augusta, green and gold. It is maybe not the exact hues, and maybe a little bright for someone of Sergio's age. But I'll defer to Patrick here. What do you think?
I love it when you have the so he used his bag as like a really cool accessory, and that one's bright red, and so he pretty much was a stoplight. He had red, yellow, and green. I think that's what he was going for, to tell you the truth.
And that stoplight would symbolize
maybe the world of golf, right?
Okay, sure, yeah, why not? I mean, we're this deep in it, sure, why not?
Who we got next? Who's next?
J-Day, I think.
Oh yeah.
This is these are they just considered baggy pants from Jason Day?
No, they're those are one size fits all. They're flex fit.
Have you guys ever gone into like one of those costumes that can inflate, like a sumo, like Halloween costume?
Yeah,
I think it's one of those, but the inflator broke.
My favorite thing about those is I really think they have an elastic waist. They don't you don't need need a belt with those.
He slapped a belt on him anyway. Yeah. I thought I wish we could. I don't know if we could zoom in. Is that it almost looks like a cargo pant pocket. Is that just a different shade? What is that?
No, that looks like a pocket.
Yeah, is it a pocket?
I don't know if he has his yardage book in there. I don't know if it's mesh.
Could you imagine if he whipped his yardage book out of that thing?
Or like an eraser or something. A pencil sharpener.
Have you guys noticed with Jason Day, he holds his sunglasses in his back pants? Like just he throws one of the side parts in it, and then it just dangles.
So does he put it into his pocket or into his waistband?
His back pocket.
That's cool. What is that?
I thought they were just rain pants at the beginning. It's like, oh, he just thought it was going to rain all day, and he forgot to
Yeah,
pack
you
real
can
pants.
see the elastic. You can see the elastic. They are elastic with belt loops. Why would you? Okay. Did they custom stitch the belt loops on for him, knowing he has to wear a belt? Because they wouldn't sell these like that. Because that wouldn't make any sense. Why would you need a belt with elastic pants?
I don't know. I think I might be in on these in general.
Of course you are.
I'm pumped for tomorrow.
Why?
Because
have you seen his fit for tomorrow?
Yeah, I have the scripting. He's wearing a like a cigarette sweater vest, pretty much.
A what? Oh boy, it looks like it says Marlboro, not Malbon.
Yeah.
What have they done? What have they done to our Jason Day?
Oh, sweet boy. He murdered him.
The betting favorites are available, Josh. Is that true? It is. And one Scottie Scheffler, who opened the week as a historically short favorite, 4-1 to win the Masters, is now shorter, 140. That's put down 140, or excuse me, put down 100, win 140, 1.4 to 1. Bryson DeChambeau right in line, 5.5 to 1. Then a big gap. Max Homa is 16 to 1. Rory McIlroy is 18 to 1. Ludwig, hadn't mentioned him yet, 22 to 1. Hatton at 25. A lot of love still for Brooks Koepka. Holes to play. Maybe that's the hope there. 28 to 1. And Joaquin Niemann at 33. So by my count, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 live golfers. 4. Is that right? Am I counting right? 4 PGA Tour golfers. Ooh, spooky. Those are the odds.
Greg, who you like?
Anything you like, Greg?
Well, hopefully you got your Scottie Scheffler fix already. So if we're looking to make some donations, I think that the next guy that I would be very interested in, I was thinking Koepka. I'm surprised he's on this board. If he was way long, he would still be a good option. But Will Zalatoris.
40 to 1.
Oh, he's at 30.
Josh tells me 40.
40. Okay. So I think that's fine. He's very much in the mix. Also, Patrick Reed through 14 at 2 under par. I don't think he's going to win. But I'm very interested in him in these kind of difficult conditions. So those would be 2 other guys other than Scottie. I love what Ludwig's done. I watched his round today. He's only through 11 holes as well. He's 2 under. He's special.
He is special. I think Niemann's kind of live.
Ooh, Rick, the heel turn. How could you?
I know.
He is the number 1 player in the world in some corners.
In some opinions, he's the number 1 player in the world. And he is putting together a good stat profile. He's doing it very on brand, what he's done all 2024. I think it's a decent golf course for him. Listen, everybody has a Scottie Scheffler problem right now. Everybody's got a Scottie Scheffler problem right now. And I'm like kind of certain Scottie's going to win this right now.
Yeah, I think, dude, I love P. Reed, Greg. I like that call. What about... So Koepka 28, he's pretty much in for par on 12. He marked like a 1-footer.
Nice.
I wasn't sure why, but that was the last shot I saw. So
he wants to start his day with just an easy win.
Yeah,
just
so
the extra walk across Hogan Bridge.
He could go on a run where he shoots 69 and this number's in half. I would say what's Jordan Spieth at? I'm kidding. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
What is he? What is he?
What
Josh?
Is Xander Schauffele at even par?
Spieth is 75-1. Xander is 50.
Wow.
What is Patrick Cantlay?
Patrick Cantlay, Patty Ice, 75.
Finau in the same range as Cantlay?
Rahm is 60. Finau is 80-1.
Ooh.
Finau and Cantlay striped it today with their irons.
Finau was grinding on the putting green after, like, in the dark.
Yeah,
How
he
good was
lost a shot and a half on the greens. But number one in the field right now in strokes gained approach, Patrick Cantlay. Number 2, Tony Finau. Number 3, Joaquin Niemann.
Yeah,
number 4, Scottie Scheffler.
Niemann will finish second.
Ooh.
In the tournament.
Yeah. Can I put like an exacta in?
Yeah, you should do that.
1-2, Scottie, Niemann.
Yeah.
So you got Niemann as low live. He's going to track down Bryson.
Low live. Yeah. Bryson's he's already looked at the sun. He might be flying too close to the sun. I think he comes back to earth a little bit.
I don't know. I don't mind the 5.5 on Bryson. That's like not horrible for a guy of his caliber, and he's winning. I know Scottie's right there.
Bryson looks really good.
I'm gonna go Xander 50-1. That's my final bet.
Congrats.
Watch out, people.
Anything else, guys? Day one, not round one in the books. Is there anything else that needs to be discussed? I only ate 9 cookies today. I'm going to try to wean myself off. I'll go for 6 tomorrow.
I think you can do that.
What about
you're saying take the over?
I'm saying take the over.
What about Wyndham Clark saying, yeah, he's got a chance. Live guys only play 54 holes. But you look at his win, the AT&T Pebble Beach, and it was only 54 holes.
Like, I just
Why?
like, I just need 1 ounce of self-awareness, right? Like, anybody else could get away with saying that. It would be stupid, but anybody else could get away with saying that. Of course, the guy who won the 54-hole event and like it was handed to him after play was suspended is making the jab here. It's just like, you must know that is going to come back and make you look stupid.
There's just no. This is exactly what Bryson did with the par 67 comment.
Yeah,
right?
There's no upside to this.
It's just a terrible, terrible play. Now all of a sudden there's an unnecessary attention on you.
It's not even like that. The Wyndham comment is going to age poorly in a year. It ages poorly immediately, 1 second after it comes out of his mouth.
He lost to Bryson by 9 today, or by 8 today.
God, I just don't know, man. These guys.
Like you said, I could go and do that tomorrow. You could say that, but you don't have to like discredit their. I mean, one of the live players won a major last year. You don't need to do that.
It's awesome. I think he's becoming a villain between the caddy stuff, between the grass stuff. And I've heard villainous tales. I've heard villainous tales.
I could see that. He's like a borderline, like the dude's on the verge of snapping at all times.
I don't know if he treats wait staff well. I'll just put that out there.
Are you?
I don't like that.
I never know if you're like making that up or if like someone has told you a story,
no,
or if you've witnessed it in your life.
I have, on good authority, I have heard multiple accounts.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
I can play.
All right. Well, that's a great note to end on. We will be back. So first off, you guys did a great job on First Cut today. So we got.
So did you.
Well, thank you. We did 2 first cuts today, basically, and we are going to do. Are you guys both on again tomorrow?
I think so.
I think so too. So we are going to do another live first cut kind of midday-ish with Moose, you guys. Kyle, I think, is in the first block. I think I am in the last block. And then we will have those hits through. So that's 2 p.m. Eastern. Then we'll have the other HQ, Spotlight, all those hits. And then, of course, the post round, what you're watching right now, will happen again Friday night. So it is just first cut bonanza
galore.
Yeah. Just can't get enough of it.
And
First
everyone be nice to Joe.
Be nice to Joe.
Like, come on, guys.
Be nice to Joe.
He's a professional. He's a professional anchor. He's unbelievable.
Does a really great job.
I feel like I don't like I'm in single A ball compared to him.
I feel the same way. It's like, let's do a podcast with Jim Nantz.
Joseph said they were nice to Joe. Okay. No, I do agree that. So the first time Joe hosted, it was like 99-1. The comments were negative to positive. Now they're at least getting more even. Be nice to Joe. Plus it's extra, right? We're still doing the round by round stuff. It's all good. It's all part of the fam.
He mentioned it a few times too. It's stuck. Phoenix is stuck with him.
Yeah, I think it hurt us. I mean, it hurt all of our feelings. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone be nice to Joe.
Be nice.
It could go a long way, right? Everyone love everyone.
And it's not out of pity. He's like a rock star.
Yeah,
he really needs this.
Yeah. He's like doing us a massive favor. like lowering himself to our like little pod.
Oh, you guys still doing that little podcast?
You guys still doing that thing? All right, I'll hop on and help. All right, we will be back. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Josh, doing all the hard work behind the scenes. Patrick McDonald at P McDonald CBS. Greg DuCharme at The Real GFD. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.